Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Western Province Cricket for the final of the third Specsavers Bowls South Africa Super 10 Championship. Lovely day, a wonderful day for bowls. Greens running around 13.5 seconds, 14 seconds. And for a third year in a row, we have a Western Province pair contesting the final. I'd like to welcome Michelle Hendricks, the area manager for Specsavers in the Western Cape, Jenny Elliott, the convener of the tournament committee, Rob Forbes, Bowl South Africa Vice President, Charles Levy, Executive Member, Port Natal, the President of Western Province Cricket of Club Cecil van Niekerk, and the President of Western Province, John Edwards. Now, for you to get some information on those of you who are not sure on the format, I'll hand you over to my co-commentator, Graham Todd, a Western Province senior squad member from this club, who will explain them to you.
Thanks, Alan, and yes, a very warm welcome on an absolutely stunning day here in Rondebosche in Cape Town. Almost pretty windless, perfect conditions for bowls today, so we're very blessed to have this here, the Specsavers Pro10. What I'm able to do now is to take you through the actual format of the game, as the players are now on the green and they're going to be having 2 trial ends, 2 practice ends. The actual format of this game, it's a very exciting type of bowls game that's been introduced here, as Alan said, the last 3 years. It's almost a sort of equivalent of the cricket T20, this Pro10. And all it does is that each bowler is restricted to 2 bowls per player, and the game lasts just for 10 ends. Now, the scoring will work that for each of the 10 ends, there is a maximum of 10 points. And how that works is that the bowl closest to the jack scores 4 points, the next one 3, the third shot scores 2, and finally the fourth shot 1. So it's a total of 10 points per end, and the game played over 10 ends. That means there's a total of 100 points, and obviously the team that scores 51 points first is declared the winner. So we're in for some exciting bowls this afternoon. The players are busy warming up. It's also important to note that in this game, when the jack is hit out of bounds, the ends are normally replayed, but in this format, to speed the game up, make it a bit more exciting, if the end is burnt, the jack is then replaced on the 2-meter mark. So it's important that the players are aware of this, because the skills will obviously dictate that.
That's quite right, and taking that on a bit further, as you know, bowlers watching and those people that have watched bowls quite often, there's 2 kinds of bowls you can play. You can play drawing bowls or driving bowls. Drawing bowls is where the bowl takes however fast or slow the green is to reach the jack. When you're driving to knock out an opponent's bowl or take the jack into the ditch or burn the end, then of course a lot of pressure is applied. In this game, it's a very dangerous practice to play the driving shot, because if you're not on target, you can take all your own bowls out of the head and drop a huge score. And it's very, very hard to get back a full house.
Yeah, so tactics plays a very, very big part here. It's critical. It's a drawing game here, and Alan said it's not often you're going to see the driving shots played here. It's a drawing game, which basically is the essential skill that is required for bowls. So we're busy watching the players warm up at the stage. Johnny Grant in picture at the moment, and Doug Wyatt with his back to the camera at this stage. It's been an exciting semi-final for both these 2 skips and their leads to come through to play in front of a nice sized crowd. And what they're going to be playing for, in essence, is, apart from the gold medal, is the prize money for winning the gold medal is 15,000 rand. The runners-up will receive 10,000, and then both losing semi-finalists receive 5,000 each. So a very lucrative tournament, and our sincere thanks to Specsavers for the wonderful support for the game of bowls.
the inaugural tournament was held in Port Elizabeth 2 years ago and was won by two ladies from the Durbanville Bowling Club in Cape Town, the northern suburbs of Cape Town. And then last year, Western Province won it again when the former world champion and multiple national and districts champion Pro10 Trish Young, playing with Dani Loubser, himself a senior Masters player and interprovincial player. They won it there, and so there's a lot on the shoulders of Roland Maggott and Doug Wyatt, also from the Durbanville Club, to continue the process. I can tell you that Maggott, who's nearly 80, is in terrific form. He's already won a Western Province Open singles title, not seniors, and he also was the skip to win the All Cape this year. He's in terrific form. Verdon Boucher, as you know, is the father of Mark Boucher, the former South African cricket wicket-keeper, who's now coach of the Titans, and it's going to be a very, very tough game. Well, first ball will be bowled by, I think Western Province will be bowling the first ball when the game starts. They're still bowling trial ends, and expect some very tight ends. There's been a lot of comment around about the greens that are very, very good condition. All the bowlers, remember, there's bowlers from all 20 Bowl South Africa's districts from all over the country, and there's been favourable comment from all the competitors about the greens, which, thanks to Dani Loubser and to Peter Bryant, are in excellent condition. Yeah, I've commented. I saw them. I'm still on the trial. I've commented on who's won it over the 3 years. I've told them that.
Tradition in bowls now. The players shake hands with each other, wishing each other the very best of luck. And as Alan said, we're in for a very, very exciting game here. Two really top-class sides here. And as I said earlier, a nice exciting format of the game of bowls. The two bowls, pairs, the Pro10. It really is a very, very good sponsorship that we receive from Specsavers. And what's also been nice is that they've also had some lucky draws in the clubhouse and even prizes for a best dressed team participating in these finals. So we've had teams, the top two teams from each province are out here over this past weekend. The winners and runners-up all invited down here to Cape Town to play in the Pro10 finals. The game will be starting shortly, soon as Maggott completes his warm-up and Verdon Boucher, the other skip. It really is a lovely day, Alan, isn't it? Perfect for bowls.
It couldn't be better. There was a threat on Saturday of a strong southeasterly wind, which is notorious sometimes at this particular club, but it abated, and now we have just a zephyr, just to cool it down a little bit, and it could well be, as you say, Graham, it could be the middle of summer.
The secret season. Right, the last bowl being delivered now in the warm-up, and then the game will commence. It goes quite fast, as one can imagine, with just 8 bowls counting, and the game should last between 50 minutes to an hour. Again, dependent on the score. Remember that critical thing, 10 points for each end, and whoever passes the 50 mark first will be declared the winner. Hopefully that'll happen to make it more exciting in the 10th and last end. So very exciting and very quick format for the lovely game of bowls.
Province is taking it away.
Right, Doug Wyatt They won the toss, so they have elected to deliver the jack. And delivering the jack is a skill in itself, because you're attempting to find the length that you are most effective at, and hopefully your opposition are not so good at. So again, part of the tactics, Wyatt to deliver. He's playing the backhand, and it looks pretty good, the first one. Yes, his weight is very good, just to the right of the jack.
This particular format is catching on around the world. The Australians have adopted it for one of their big tournaments, and the president of World Bowls told me when he was here that he thinks the innovation will catch on completely around the world. So South Africa can be thanked for introducing a format which will be adopted by the main bowls playing nations, who of course will be meeting at Christchurch in New Zealand at the end of the year in World Bowls.
A very, very nice delivery from Wyatt. He's currently holding 2 shots, so at the moment it's 4 and 3. It's Western Province, or Maggott and Wyatt are holding 7 points at the stage, but it's only 3 bowls. So you'll be able to see as the heads build and how the score amounts. Grant, who was a bit short with his first one, has added on the weight now, and he could be picking up the jack here. He has done so beautifully. He's trailed the jack beautifully, a really superb shot. Again, as you can see, the excitement and the tactics into it. So he's now holding the highest amount of points for the end, being 4 for the closest wood. So the jacks move back a bit now, so it's going to be up to the skips to try and get as close as possible to build up their points. The jack's gone back about 1.5 meters from where it was. And both Boucher and Maggott are in excellent form at the moment. Alan shared with you Roland Maggott's age at this stage, and he's just been getting better and better each year. It looks like his weight's pretty good at this stage. It may just fall into the ditch just a little bit hard. The bowl is obviously removed from the ditch, only counting if it touches the jack and moves into the ditch. Boucher sending down a very nice one here. It looks like he's got good weight. He's got to try and prevent going into the ditch, but it looks like that it has stopped almost on the edge. Wyatt now encouraging Maggott. He needs a little less weight now. But of course, with the jack moving back 1.5 meters from where it originally was, your weight is critical here. He seems to have adjusted slightly. Yes, it's coming up to a very good shot, and it could be the shot. Typical of Rowley's bowls at the moment, Alan.
Yes, I watched him as you did in the semi-finals. He was quite incredible. He drew shot after shot after shot, and he's been in that kind of form all this year.
Lovely Boucher. Boucher's added on a bit. He's just not quite there. Not quite there. So at this point it looks like there's at least 7. The score is 6-4. It's 6 to Border. Six to Border and 4 to Western Province. All right, we're ready to play the next end. So as you see, that end took just over 5 minutes, so the game will go quite quickly. Now Border's turn to throw the jack for the first time to determine the length, to try and see if there's any weakness in Western Province's ability to find a length. But I think against these two campaigners, they're not going to find that too easily at all. Grant playing the forehand, not too happy with his delivery, and we'll see why in a second. It could be slightly underweight. Yes, he realized that. So he's about a metre and a half short of the jack.
Yes, as Graham says, when you're playing in the forehand, which the border player did, you have to push it a little bit, because as it turns towards the jack, it goes back into the wind. So you've just got to allow for the wind, which is coming across. The southeast is blowing reasonably brisky. It's a frisky breeze. It's not a strong breeze.
Wyatt's first ball, playing the other hand, has gone to the back. He's playing the other hand there, so the wind has got a slight influence on it finishing. Grant now adding on a bit more weight here. He needs that extra metre and a half. He's running good. The spectators are encouraging. It looks like a very, very good wood. Just going past a little bit too much, so he's gone through a metre. And playing towards the clubhouse at the moment, where the jack is at the moment. It's sheltered from this the Western Province Cricket Club clubhouse, so it should be slightly easier to finish here. Wyatt looks to have put down a very good one. His weight looks very, very good. He's running up and gets it very, very close, just about 10 centimetres away from the jack. Maggott obviously very happy with his lead for giving them that early advantage.
One thing this format allows for, it allows for relative novices to do rather well, because although there's a skip and a lead, the skip is in name only because they play last. The two good drawing leads have a good chance of winning any game, because this is essentially a drawing game.
Well said, Alan, and I think this type of game is going to attract a lot of the younger people as well, because of it's exciting, it's short, and it calls for a great deal of accuracy. And Boucher's first wood just catching Grant's short wood, but otherwise his weight looked to be pretty good. Yes, so it's pretty exciting in the bowls fraternity that we'll find this attractive for the younger people who these days want quick action, as I alluded to earlier on, very similar to the cricket T20. Here we've got Maggott coming down beautifully at the moment. He may be just a little bit short. Yes, he's just that metre short. Boucher with a very, very smooth delivery. Playing the forehand. His weight looks good. Grant likes what he sees. The bowl coming through here. He's got a little bit more weight. That looks pretty good. It could be shot. Could be a quiet measure. Wyatt indicating that the last bowl, Boucher's last bowl, is level with the jack. And that helps. It helps him get perspective. Maggott's bowl looks like it's got very good weight here. He's added on that little bit. He's pushed the yellow bowl out. It could be the shot. It looks like it's going to be a measure. Now the players, oh yes, well done there. Maggott managed to do exactly what he was implored to do. Again, demonstrating that skill. His weight was so good there, Alan, and it was, he just had to add on just half a metre, and he did it to perfection.
Yes, in this kind of format, it's a game of centimetres, millimetres in fact. And to see a bowler of his, he's a veteran, a real veteran, and he plays with the most delicate touch. Give him the score.
So what the score now is 10-all, and it was the exact reversal of the first end, which was 6-4. So it was 4-6. Province this time picking up the 6, which means they got the shot and the third shot. A total of 6 points. Remember the scoring format: 4 for the closest, 3 for the next one, 2 points for the third closest, and finally 1 point for the fourth shot. You'll notice the jack is a little bit shorter this time, so they've pulled it forward a good 3 metres from where it was, initially playing the same direction, and they're just trying to see whether this will affect the border players at all. So again, the tactics we're talking about. Let's see if Grant can find this distance. His weight's looking pretty good. He's got a little roll up. Yes, his weight is very, very good, and that length doesn't have any particular problems for Johnny Grant. Dougie Wyatt now to see whether he can get inside that bowl or rest onto the shot bowl.
What a wait.
He's
got a chance.
He's got a very good chance here. He's bowled a... Look at that. It's absolutely perfect ball. And to a lot of applause from the crowd. An excellent delivery and a beautiful finish.
Yes, as Graham said, it was an exceptional ball. And what's more, when Maggott goes to play, he can play quite freely, because if he catches his own bowl, the jack will move over to Wyatt's first bowl, and if he slips the bowl, he could rest out the shot. Well, it's changed now, and it's even better for the Western Province pair.
Grant changed hands there. He went the other side of the rink to do exactly what his skipper called him for, and Ellison said could happen, because if the jack is moved, it would go to that side. And unfortunately, he just caught Wyatt's bowl and moved it into where they were. So it's just 4 to Western Province at the stage and 3 to Border, and the other 2 shots look like measures. Maggott delivering. Certainly not going to be short. Yeah, he's gone through. Not a bad idea, Alan, because if there is contact with that shot bowl against the white, it could spring in that direction.
Indeed, it never hurts to have one at the back. He doesn't want to build the head too big and leave what's called a catch, whereby your opponent can rest on the bowls. So the bowl that was sent down by Maggott is not lost.
Boucher also putting his first bowl in line with where the jack would spring if contact is made with the shot bowl. Maggott moving around beautifully around the back. Not quite up to it. It could have done with another meter of running. Grant calling for that shot now, to find the shot bowl, to pop that jack towards their bowl. Let's see if Boucher can deliver.
There is a certain amount of danger that if he's a little wide and a little too heavy, he could take his own bowler, but I think he's narrow. I think he's going to miss the whole thing. That second shot.
Beautiful. A very, very good control.
5-all.
And I think that's 5-all. 5-all, yes it is. So 15 each after 3 ends. And the score is rather indicative of the tight game that we predicted.
Indeed. In fact, Graham, this could go right to the wire. It could well be, unless something untoward happens, that it'll be decided on the 10th end, as you said earlier.
That would be fantastic. I think from the crowd expectation as well. A nice turnout crowd here today. Most of them sitting in the shade of the cricket club veranda, and what a lovely facility that we are enabled to be at. Perfect surroundings for bowls. And because Western Province scored the 4 points, the highest point of the level 5 each, they are entitled to lead off first. Wyatt seems to have this range. You'll see that it's a shorter jack again. He's gone through just about a meter. The green is quite quick, as Alan alluded to, approximately 14 seconds from delivery to stop. And that is deemed as quick.
Yes, as Graham says, and those of you that are watching bowls maybe for the first time, the higher the shot speed, in other words, 14, 15, 16, 17, the faster the green is, not the slower, because although it sounds like an anomaly, it's not. It's because the bowl you have to take more grass, you need more bias to swing the bowl back towards the jack. The straighter it goes, the shorter it is, and therefore the green is very slow.
Yeah, I think if you were to play on your front lawn at home, the bowl would come to a halt in about 2 or 3 seconds. So playing it over this distance and on these greens, very well prepared by the green staff and members of the Green Committee of Western Province Cricket Club. They've put on an immaculate performance here in terms of the green preparation, and all the facilities are fantastic. Grant putting up a beautiful one now. He's drawn right next to it. A superb shot. Lovely control.
Yes, next year, next bowl season, the South African National Championships headquarters will be here in Cape Town. And also at Western Province will be the Open Inter-Districts. So Western Province is going to host a lot of exciting bowls next year.
And I just think, adding to what Alan says, is we've also going to be hosting the World Bowls tournament for blind bowlers and paraplegic. And that is going to be a huge international event. And again, Western Province, and in particular Western Province Cricket Club, very fortunate to being given the opportunity to host it. And it's because they have 4 greens and clubhouse, and it's all wheelchair friendly. So the club's looking really forward to hosting that tournament. Boucher putting down a very good one coming here. He's got perfect weight to draw the second shot. No, he's about just over half a metre short. But his line was very, very good. Maggott playing the open hand, the forehand. He looks very exciting. Could he find the white? He has picked up the white superbly. A magnificent shot. As we've said so often, Roland Maggott is in superb form. And it doesn't matter whether you're 80 or 20, you can play this game, providing you have those skills. Boucher's added on a little bit, but probably needs an extra metre. Well, we're going to have a look here.
For Province.
5-all. 5-all again. And thanks to Maggott, because they were down there. And Maggott pulled it back to 5-all. A really good shot there from Maggott. He's just got such wonderful control, Alan. His weight and his grass is perfect.
Yeah, beginners in the game and even those more advanced would do well to watch him. There's a minimum of foot movement. He's always pointing in the direction that the ball is going. And he doesn't come off the mat. In other words, he doesn't jump off the mat and create a jerky action, which quite a lot of bowlers do, and then wonder why the ball goes in the wrong direction. And every time you do come off the mat, you usually lose about a yard in weight or a metre in weight. And here's an example of not doing that.
And what we've got now is that they've thrown the jack very short. They were having a good look whether it passes the minimum distance, which is 23 metres. And both skips had a look at it and quite satisfied it's just over that. If not, the jack would have to have been returned and the opposition get their chance to set it. So, again, Province playing the shorter ends now, trying to put pressure on border. Let's see if Wyatt is able to adjust to the shorter length still. It looks like he has. Oh, wow. This is really good bowling. Very, very nice for a first bowl. He's just slid through about 15 centimetres.
The halfway mark.
Yes, interesting. Yes, you're quite right. How magnificent. Halfway, it's 20-20. Playing the fifth end at the moment. We'll see if there's any movement here. Grant going through a good metre and a half with his first one, which is exactly what Western Province wanted to happen, hence them throwing the short end to test their ability to adjust to the short end. Can Wyatt build on his first bowl? He seems to have gone a lot wider this time. Not particularly happy with it, and we can see why. Just a slight misjudgment there. Grant has to capitalise now to get at least second shot or the shot. Take the pressure off his skip. It's on its way. It still looks like it's got a bit of running to do, but he's bending in beautifully. He's going to get the second shot. Just gone through that metre. Wyatt is quite annoyed with himself for putting his second one down so short, because he had a really good opportunity to set it up quickly there.
And the difficulty of the game can be seen because Wyatt is an extremely good drawing bowler, and it shows you that the moment you drop concentration in this game, particularly when the greens speed up, you can either go right screaming through or drop short, and of course you have to keep your composure. You mustn't get cross with yourself.
Maggott got caught out there himself. His first loose delivery of the day, but mainly because he'd played the other hand, which he hasn't been playing for a while. He went through quite a distance. Boucher now trying to get that back. He just slips inside the white there. But he has second shot, and that's that critical 3 points. With Western Province holding 4 points at this stage. Let's see if Maggott can build on his partner. Yeah, he's got the second shot. So at this stage, Western Province are holding seven of the 10 points. Boucher's playing the same hand now, playing the open hand. He has to find one of those shot bowls or get inside it. It looks like he's too wide. He's gone too wide.
Weight wasn't bad.
It looks like it could be 7-3 here. Oh, no, it's not. 6-4. 6-4 to Western Province. So we've got a slight lead for the first time now at the end of the halfway mark. Western Province 26 and Border 24. And we're talking along interprovincial lines because, as we said at the beginning, it's the winners and runners-up of this tournament, the Specsavers Pro10, in each of the bowling provinces that have been invited to participate here. So it's a provincial representation of the top bowlers who've managed to come through into this format.
Yes, and you might like to know there were more than 1,200 pairs contesting at club level throughout the country to reach the finals of the 20 districts affiliated to Bowl South Africa. So, I mean, there are some very interesting bowlers here who haven't made this final. It's Clinton Ruitz, who's a Masters champion, and a Protea bowler, and quite a few other very, very good bowlers here that took part in this finals playoff and didn't make it through.
Grant delivered that one very well, kept his head down nicely, and a lovely follow through on the arm. We just want to see whether his weight is correct. It looks like he's going to be about half a metre short, but very close, just about 20-25 centimetres away. Wyatt electing to play the other hand, coming in from the other side, which with the wind should be bending a bit more, but he's again not put sufficient weight into that one, and that's the second delivery in the row he's been short. He will not be happy with himself.
Yes, and one of the reasons why Graham alludes to the short bowler is because if you drop a bowl short and your opponent gets in front of you, it makes it very difficult for your skip.
And there you have Grant capitalizing on that error from Wyatt. So Border at the moment holding a very comfortable 7 points, but there's still 4 bowls to come, and pressure is on Maggott to cut down on the 7 that are there, and also an opportunity for Boucher to pick up the perfect 10 for the end. Oh, that delivery from Maggott is just such a pleasure to watch. He's got good weight on it. He needs to he's just slipped the bowl and gone through.
Too heavy, I think.
Bit too heavy. He's gone through a good metre and a half.
He needs to draw it. He doesn't want to run it.
Correct. Alan's saying a little bit too much weight for that one. He needs to draw to cut down, because the quicker the bowl's going, the less turn it's going to have. Boucher's trying to add to this. Yes, I think he's... No, he's not in. Still just the 7 points. Western Province have got the third shot at the moment with Wyatt's first bowl. Can Maggott rectify now? He's had to take a bit of weight off now. The bowl looks very, very good. It's coming in. It's a little bit short, giving Boucher the opportunity. He's calling for an extra foot of weight. Can Boucher deliver? This is a chance for them to pick up a nice score. His weight looks very good. He needs to slip the bowl. Oh, he just caught the bowl, but it looks like he's in. It looks like he's in.
I think the side bowl might be in. I think the
Yeah,
ball on
they're
the
certainly
left
going
is
to measure this. He's given them the 7 points, 10. No, what's it? 4, 3, 7, 8, 9. They're measuring for the 1 point now, the fourth shot. So they have already picked up 9. And this gives them a significant advantage now going into the remaining ends. Yes, they've got 9. 9 points to border and 1.
That's a big result.
That's a big result, yes. A big result, that. And normally you'll get a 5-all, a 6-4 at this level. So, again, you can see the importance of the lead setting it up. And Wyatt was a little loose there and putting lots of pressure on Maggott, unfortunately.
Yes, like most games of bowls, short bowls don't count. As Jack Nicklaus once said, when they were talking about short putts, he says 98% of short putts don't drop. And it's the same thing with bowls. 98% of short bowls do not count. And all it does gets in the way of the guy coming next. That's on your side, that is.
This is going to be a very critical end now, moving into the 7th end, because Grant needs to capitalize on their advantage of scoring 9 points. He started off with an excellent first bowl. It's amazing when you've picked up a good score like that, your tail starts wagging and it starts to bring the confidence out into you, into your delivery in that. Whereas in the opposition, having lost that big points score against them, it puts a bit more pressure on them. And muscles start to tighten and fingers tighten. And
He's dropped it short again.
it looks, yep. Yeah, half a meter. Very, very unlike Wyatt, because normally his length is very consistent. He will be admonishing himself. But again, as I said, it's the pressure that slowly comes into the game. Grant with his tail up, trying to put another one close. It looks like his weight again is very good. He's getting that finish. And he's a bit short, but importantly, he's in the line of the bowl. Of the bowl going to the jack. But Maggott is calling Wyatt to try and come around it through between his bowl and Grant's bowl. Grant's bowl being the pinkish bowl. Wyatt's walking after it.
Got a good line.
Normally a pretty good indicator. He needs to miss. No, he's caught the bowl. He had perfect weight there, but caught the bowl, and unfortunately moved Grant in slightly. Well, again, pressure on Maggott. And one can see, Alan, how this game can change so quickly just through one end.
Yes, you're quite right, Graham. This, in actual fact, although 33-27 doesn't sound much, you drop another 7 or 8, and suddenly you're under pressure. You're almost losing on the next end if you don't rectify it. So enormous pressure, as Graham said, on Maggott to cut down the score.
Boucher now playing the forehand. His weight looks to be all right. Bowl's coming back nicely. Could be a bit short. No, he's well short. He's well over a metre short there. Wyatt imploring his skip, Rowley.
You can work off that front bow.
Yes, here it comes. He's certainly got the weight. He's putting on a bit of weight. He doesn't want to be short. He's going to try and push Wyatt in at least.
That's what he's done.
He's hit the bowl in. Good. That's come forward and it's now in the count, and it could be a measure for shot now. So again, part of the tactics there. This is why Wyatt called him through with a bit of weight to try and find one of their own bowls and put it up to the jack into the head. Boucher going a little bit wider, but bending back beautifully here. Encouraged by Grant. He's just come through. Not a bad position at all. In case that jack moves, it's going to come backwards. And they've got 2 woods just waiting there. Maggott's going to have to be very careful with his last bowl that he doesn't knock that white back to those woods. So he's walking up. It looks like a measure. It looks like a measure. But maybe in Grant's favour.
Right.
But he's certainly got to play that same hand again, Alan, and try and find Wyatt or his
Yes,
own
he's
bowl.
got a choice. Either finds the same bowl or comes off the outside bowl and turns onto that bowl or misses it and runs to the jack. So he's got 3 chances.
Absolutely. More options out there. And they say that is always the best thing to do. Play the hand that gives you more options.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And the late, great Snowy Walker, when they said, how do you keep winning? And he used to go to Pretoria West in the clubhouse there, and the whole wall of the club were the things that he'd won, was he said, I never drew a shot in my life. I played off other people's bowls.
Hold on, Snowy. Well, he's doing it again. Looks like he's actually managed to stick through. Oh, my gosh, he got a slight deflection on the wood because that was heading beautifully into to tap it in.
He might have just turned it up.
It could have, yeah. He's certainly got the 4-pointer. We're going to have a look now who's got the 3-pointer. It's going to be a measure. Boucher appears to have the 3-pointer. We're measuring for the third shot. So it's 4-3 at the moment. We're looking for who gets the 2. It's very, very tight measure, so they're going to call for the umpire maybe? No, they've agreed. We have umpires on duty here today when it gets very, very tight like that, a tight measure. The Western Province Bowls Association's registered umpires and highly qualified umpires are doing duty here today. 5 all there. So there's still that 6-point gap. And we are into the 9th end, is it? Playing the 8th end.
Yeah.
The 8th end, yes.
Just to remind you, might ask, it's not like golf where the person who won the previous hole or the hole before that and the scores are level on the next holes still has the honour. Here it's the person who draws, even though it's 5-5, whose bowl picked up the number 4, the magic number 4.
Right. Can Wyatt get Western Province back? Okay, he's just gone past. That one actually swung a lot more, which means he cut his line a little bit there and then swung across the head. But he's persisting on playing his backhand there, whereas Grant's playing the opposite hand, the forehand, and appears to be a little bit more consistent at this stage. And that's what you're looking for in this format. In any format is consistency. Grant running up. Still a little way to go. His line was certainly good. Let's see if Wyatt can now adjust. He's going to need a little bit more grass. Allow for that breeze to move him in. Bend the bowl in on the bias. Maggott is very happy with this. It's very good, very good, very good bowl. Right behind the jack. So that's 4 points at the moment to Western Province. They have to catch up this end to take the pressure off them.
Narrow.
Grant looks like he's bowled this one narrow. Yeah, admonishes himself. It's a fault that occurs when you lose a bit of concentration. You actually walk off the mat, which is what Alan said there. Instead of remaining on the mat to make sure your delivery goes through, your hand follows the line. He actually moved off, and that does affect the line slightly. It would affect either the line or the weight, and that's why he admonished himself. He felt the slight error.
Good chance for Province.
Can Maggott capitalise now? Running on well. He just sailed through a metre. Again, not lost at the back there. Boucher now. He's been encouraged. The bowl's running beautifully. He's got that extra weight to come into it. He's also bowled it a little bit narrow. It's very strange. We've had 2 narrow bowls from the border pair. And Maggott now with his last bowl. He desperately needs to pick up a 4 or a 3. It's looking absolutely perfect here. He's come. Oh, it's just gone a little bit through, but he may have the second shot. In which case they could be holding 7. Boucher to try and cut down now. But here, if if Grant's happy with it. It doesn't look as though he's got the weight though. Oh no, no, he's well short. A good 1.5 meters short. Oh, there's 7 gone out. Did you catch a score there at all, Alan?
I didn't. I have a funny feeling it's
6-4?
6-4.
6-4.
6-4 to Province.
6-4 to Province, so they've managed to catch up.
3. 7-3, I think. I think it's
6-4.
6-4.
6-4.
Yeah.
So they've caught up. They've caught up 2, and there's just 2 ends left now, with Border, with Boucher and Grant leading Western Province. Maggott and Wyatt 42-38 at the moment, just 4 points in it. And you'll see how critical it is. A 9 to win. Yes, what's Alan saying here is if Boucher and Grant can pick up a 9 this end, the game is over. You won't have to play the 10th end because they would have got 51 points. Whereas if Maggott and them pick up a perfect 10, they will still have to play the 10th end to get to that 51. Wyatt's put down a nice challenging first one, probably 0.5 meter out.
Yes.
But his line was perfect. Can Grant get inside that now? He's staring it down. He's going to get very close to the white here. Boucher is very happy with it. Very happy with it. Look at that. He's just a lovely little gentle touch on the jack. And that's 4 points at this stage for Border.
That's why when I played as a skipper, I didn't mind where people put their bowls, provided they were past the head. Because if he'd been past the head there, the kiddie would have moved towards his bowl instead of away from it. That's why Wyatt mustn't be short.
Yeah, a very important piece of advice there from Alan. It's the game that jack, when it's hit, is 95% going to go straight back. Only very rarely does it hit a bowl and bounce forward. So bowls behind, considerably better than any bowl, short bowls in front. Grant's moved on to the other hand now, because Wyatt's bowls would be slightly in the way. If he touched them, he could knock them in. He's staring it down. Boucher's very happy with this. Oh, he's put down an exceptional bowl there. 2 very, very good woods from Johnny Grant. It really is nice to see almost interprovincial bowls here and well-known bowlers parading our greens.
Now Maggott's got a choice. If he fancies his luck, he can dead draw it on his forehand. But his best chance is to play with a fraction of weight onto Wyatt's bowl just in front of the jack on the left, or rest one of the pink bowls and fall in. So I think that's probably the shot he will play.
Agreed. He's certainly given that extra bit of weight, Alan, as you've said. It looks like he could even pick up the white here, which he's done. He's done it beautifully. Absolutely beautiful. Alan said play with a little bit more weight. He's done it perfectly. And there again, what we've been talking about most of the game so far, bowls behind count. So the jack has now been moved back by Maggott by 2 meters, and Boucher now has to adjust, adding on that extra 2 meters of weight. He looks like he has done it. He's done a beautiful one now. It looks really superb. He's no problem to Boucher. He's drawn the shot. He's drawn the shot with his first bowl. So at the moment, 4 to Border, and I think it's looked 3 to Maggott's bowl. And remember, this is it's a critical end now. Border looking for that 9.
Yeah.
Maggott.
Get 8, so he could get 8, 50.
Oh, put them under a lot more pressure for Maggott.
Just about guarantee of victory. Just about.
Now, Maggott, looking at the head, is more than likely going to go the open hand, the forehand, because he needs to either stop on the shot bowl or the jack, whereas if he went the other hand, he has a strong likelihood of missing both. So, again, the percentage shot is the open hand, which he's doing. He He needs to have correct weight. He has to find Boucher's bowl. He's running after it. Or he has to find the jack. He's just slid across in front. Just slipped across in front. But again, Alan, his weight was good.
Very good. No, he had the right weight, correct weight.
He had to go through the head.
Yeah.
Can Boucher capitalise now? He just needs to replicate his first one. They're waiting for the bone to turn. The bowl's turning.
The wind's caught it.
That slight little breeze just held that wood up when it should have finished and turned in. So the breeze coming up a little bit, and see the Specsavers banners blowing quite strongly in the wind now. So that little breeze caught that wood. Well, let's see what happens here. They certainly haven't got the 9, which means we're going into the 10th and final end. So an exciting game, as Ellen and I predicted. And what proves it's exciting is there's a strange stillness and quietness around the green. All the spectators are wrapped up in concentrating on this game. Now, they've called for an umpire because they're unable to determine between the marker using his measure. Doug couldn't determine which one was closer, so they've called for the official umpire to now see, using specialized equipment, which shot is actually the closest. So we shall await his decision. But Alan, this gives us exactly what we wanted, and I think the crowd wanted, a 10th end.
Yeah, this is going to be decided on the last end, one way or another. It just depends what the count here is. If they can get 7 or 8, they're in a very, very, very strong position.
Very much so, yeah. They've measured. They're just asking the umpire to check something again.
6-4.
6-4. So it's 6 to Border, 4 to Western Province. So it's 48-42. So all Border need at this stage is the third shot. Sorry, the second shot for victory. 3 points. Or number 1.
Or number 1 or third and fourth.
Third or fourth. So very much in their favour at this stage. As Alan said too, they need first or second.
They need 9-1 to save the game.
There we go. So
or 8 to get an extra end.
There we go.
2 gets an extra end.
Correct.
9-1 wins the game.
And that'll be exciting. That hasn't happened. It hasn't happened as yet, because in the final there is an extra end, but during the intersectional play, they shared the points.
Correct.
When it got to that. So we will have an extra end here, and maybe that'll be very, very special. Well, let's see what Border can do here now. Can they wrap it up? His weight's pretty good. He's just gone through a bit, but importantly, it's behind. Wyatt now on this last end.
Yes, his stomach must be churning.
He's got to give it maximum concentration. Make sure his stance is right, his delivery is right, his weight is right.
This is where BMT comes in bowls.
It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Yes, it is the shot. Yeah, I agree with Alan there. The big match temperament he's talking about is absolutely vital. You can imagine what's going through their players' minds, but also their stomachs at this stage. You can get yourself into quite a tight knot, but this is looking good. We're getting one that's slightly inside the line, but his weight is very good. He's just moved past, so Western Province still holding those 4 points. But confidently at this stage, they've got 2 other shots there.
Worth 3. They need first, second and third shot.
Exciting.
To stay in the game.
Wyatt's got to get inside both of Grant's bowls at this stage. He's gone a bit wider, but he's looking for the wind to push him back in a bit. It's coming back beautifully, but he's added, just his weight's...
He's had trouble with his weight.
His weight's just a little strong there. But it has gone behind, so it'll give Maggott a little bit of confidence.
This has put Maggott under enormous pressure, because Maggott has to draw first and second shot and make sure that he's got third shot as well. 8 points will keep them in the game and make the scores 50 all.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very, very difficult. Fortunately, Maggott has got the last bowl, and we'll speak about that just now, because he can try and change things to get those critical 8 points they need. But Grant's quite happy with the line. We're just worrying about the weight, and it looks like it's short. Yes, it's well short. Again, you can see what pressure does. Boucher just wanted to get it close, and in trying, he's just pulled it up a bit. Maggott can't afford to be short. Here, his line is absolutely critical, that he gets the bend back into the white. It's running up beautifully at this stage. Crowd are very happy with it, imploring it to come in there. He's got number one. He's got the shot. Well done, Maggott. They've got 7 points, Western Province. Boucher with his last bowl, very quick on the delivery there, Alan. He didn't spend much time.
Yes.
He didn't spend much time at that. Oh, look at this. He's just rolled through.
Now,
Maggott has to draw.
they can win the game.
They currently.
If he draws the third shot now, they win the game.
That is it. Now look how important it is. Can Maggott win by drawing the third shot? They've got first and second. If they can draw the third, that'll give them the 9 points. Maggott's running after it. Wyatt's staring it down. It has to run. The crowd's in front. It has to run. He's running out. They've done it. It looks like they've done it. They have done it. They've picked up the 9 that they needed. Oh, what a magnificent comeback victory that. That just shows you how exciting this game is. And certainly the crowd favourites here put it in, but to do what they did at the end there was quite. So the final score, 51 to Western Province, Maggott and Wyatt, and 49 to Border.
Well done, Doug. Yeah, that you can't get much closer than that. And an exciting win, and that means 3 years in a row it's been won by a Western Province pair, which is quite extraordinary. And it'll be a long time before that's emulated by any of the provinces. Anyway, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon, and thank you to Spec Savers for another wonderful tournament, to Western Province Cricket for all its amenities, and the staff and the umpires and everybody that's combined to make this an absolutely exceptional tournament. And on behalf of my co-commentator Graham Todd and myself, Alan Simmons, the media officer for Bowl South Africa, thank you for being with us.
Well said, Alan. Well wrapped up. Well, we promised you excitement right at the beginning, and you saw it right up to the last bowl. And again, great tribute to that evergreen Roland Maggott. You saw how critical that last bowl was, and he delivered. And he's 80 years young. He's certainly not 80 years old. A really tremendous tournament. And the excitement we promise you, last bowl, finish. Wow. And hard luck to Verdon Boucher and Johnny Grant, who played so well right up until the very end. So, again, endorsing what Alan said, it's been wonderful for Spec Savers.